Hey guys, so what we're going to look at today is using some of the algebra that you already know from a previous course, combined with some of this information that you guys are now learning about. So when you look at this, first example, you have points A, B, and C are what's considered collinear. So again, reminder, we talked about collinear. It just means that those points are all on the same line. And here's the key. When you look at this, you have that point B is between A and C. So when we look at these pictures, it doesn't matter if it's directly in the middle because it doesn't say midpoint. What it says is between. So we could put it towards A, we could put it towards C, it doesn't matter. All we need is that point to be between A and C. And then what I would recommend is I would go ahead and label what I know. So I know that AC is 3x plus 3. I know that AB is -1 plus 2x. And I know that BC is 11. And so if you think about this in terms of just common sense, if you have this, you've got two small pieces, AB and you've got BC. Those two pieces together are going to add up to be that distance from A to C. So all I need to do at this point is to draw or to write out an equation that says -1 plus 2x plus 11 equals 3x plus 3. From that point, it's just an algebraic equation, so it's nothing new from what you've learned in the past. So now when I look at this, I recognize that I have a -1 and an 11. I have like terms that I need to combine. And now I need to move my x's to one side, so I can subtract my 2x. Need to subtract those to get them on the same side, so I get 10 equals x plus 3. Subtract the 3, so I end up with x equals 7. Now notice this question does ask me to find x, and so I have done so. For the next one, it's the same concept. So again, I'm going to start with a picture. I'm actually going to put it up above this time just so I don't run out of room with my algebra. Again, that B doesn't have to be directly in the middle. It just has to be somewhere between A and C. When I look at this, I can label what I know. So I know that the A to C is 22. I know that B to C is x plus 14, and I know that A to B is x plus 10. So again, when I look at this, I have the two small parts added together. So my x plus 10 plus, and then my other small part equals the big part. So I have small plus small equals whole, or part plus part equals whole. From there, again, I'm going to combine my like terms. So I've got an x and an x. So now I'm looking at 2x. I've got a 10 and a 14, and so that's going to give me 24. And then I'm going to subtract the 24 from each side. When I do so, I get 2x equals -2, and then divide, I get x equals -1. Now here's the thing. Some people will look at this and recognize that you do have a negative number for your x. That's okay. However, if I were to go back in and plug this in to my two expressions up here, those distances cannot be negative. So if I plug in the -1 to this, to this expression up here, I get a 9. If I plug it in up here, I get 13, and 9 plus 13 does check to give me the 22 that I need. Okay, so again, this number here, that can be a negative number, but once you plug it back in to find distances, those distances will not be negative. Okay, so when I look at the next example, it's a similar concept. So you're going to draw your picture. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read that given that R is between Q and S. So I have the Q and the S are my endpoints. I have R somewhere in between those. Again, it does not have to be in the middle unless I see that word midpoint. And I'm going to add 5x, I'm going to label 5x plus 3. I'm going to label my RS is x minus 4. And my Q to S is equal to 2x plus 19. 2x plus 19. So when I look at this, I'm going to, again, set up the same way. I have the two small parts, 5x plus 3 plus x minus 4 equals, and again, it's going to be the whole thing, 2x plus 19. Again, now from here on out, it's just an algebraic equation. Combine my like terms to get 6x minus 1 equals 2x plus 19. subtract my 2x from each side. I get 4x minus 1 equals 19. Move the 1 over, so I have 4x equals 20. When I divide, I get x equals 5. Now notice, in this direction, it does ask me to find x, but it also asks me to find QR. So what I would need to do then is come back over here and substitute the 5 that I just solved for into my expression. So now I have that QR equals 5 times 5 is 25, plus 3 gives me 28. Now what I could also do is I could also take just a few minutes and I can plug in for QS and also RS to make sure that my answer does make sense as a whole. Okay, so take a minute, pause your video, solve this equation, see what you come up with. Actually, when I look at this, this is not the one I wanted you to solve. I apologize. It's the next one. This one has some symbols that I want to make sure that we recognize as well as a term. So notice we have this word congruent. Okay, we are noticing that that means that those lengths are going to be equal. Okay, we have a symbol here that we need to recognize. It looks like an equal sign with a squiggle on top. And so it gives us some information. It gives us that AB is congruent to, or equal in length, to CD. So we know CD is 9 inches. So from here to here is 9. That means that this to this is also 9. Okay. So when I look at this, we also know that BC, if I can back up here, erase this so I can see it, BC is 5x. So we can label that as 5x. They also tell us that this whole entire thing is 53. So again, same concept, except for now instead of dealing with 2 pieces, I now have 3. So I'm going to have 9 plus 5x plus 9 equals 53. And I can combine my like terms, so I get 18 plus 5x equals 53. And then what I'm recognizing is that I need to subtract 18 from each side. So 53 minus 18 gives me 35. So when I move that over, I get 35. Divide, I get x equals 7. Now again, notice the question does not ask me to find x. The question actually asks me to find BC. Okay, so when I look at this, I'm going to be plugging it in to that equation there. So I have 5 times 7. So my BC equals 35. Okay, now the one that I wanted you to do that I referenced a second ago, disregard the directions on the top here. This is actually left from a previous year. So what I want for you to do, I'm going to actually delete this out of here and just say, please do the following. Forget that other instruction. Try to figure out what is x. Keep in mind you do have this vocab here, midpoint. Think about what makes it a midpoint rather than between. I did reference it earlier in this video.